Welcome to the Kindness Principles Podcast. I believe kindness is a cultural strategy that empowers people to create meaningful lives, healthier relationships, stronger organizations, and a world where everyone can thrive. My name is Cindy Smarsh, and I'm really glad you're here. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you. I appreciate it so much. I'm guessing that a lot of you are stressed or overwhelmed at work or in your lives, or both. And I want to talk to you today about really taking more control over that in your life by bringing in a higher vibe experience in your life. Now, I may have already lost you, but I got to thinking, it's a new season now in our world. It's summertime, so we're in a transition to a new season. And I thought, if you're consistently stressed or overwhelmed, let's create a new season in your life as well that brings a lighter, happier, healthier tone to your daily life at work and at home. So, one of the things about the way life works is we can choose experiences that either really lift us up or bring us down, right? That really um, instill fear and stress and burden and overwhelm in our life, or bring peace and joy and delight and fun into our lives. And a lot of this can be controlled by what you do yourself. And so I want to talk about that today. So, one of the big, excuse me, pardon me, one of the big focuses in our culture is the news, right? So we hear all the things going on in the world that are often, would bring us to our knees, very upsetting. There's wars going on, there's political tensions all around the world, there's economic struggle and poverty and all kinds of inhumane things that go on around the world. And when we take that kind of news in, it can really be devastating to our minds and our bodies and our hearts and souls. I mean, we can soak things up like sponges. We humans are like sponges, and we can soak up that negativity, and it affects us in ways that we don't even realize. And there's also a lot of movies that we seem to think are wonderful in our culture that have a lot of violence in them. I know my own husband loves, the car chasing, shoot 'em up, bang 'em up, get the bad guys, kind of movies. And we also have a lot of social media or television shows or things that focus on sort of gossipy kinds of things as well, or judging people or things like that. And so, all of those things, I'm not trying to tell you what should be entertaining to you or not, or what ought to be important to you or not. But I am suggesting to you that the more you take in those news headlines and watch those images on TV of war and violence and inhumane acts and stress and judgment or gossip or any of those kinds of lower energy kinds of things, the more you take that in, the less at peace you will likely be in your own life. You may feel more tense, more anxious, more fearful, more stressed out. And then your physical body, of course, may respond as well. This may be why you don't sleep as well at night as you would like. This may be why your food doesn't digest as well as you would like. It could be why you get headaches or migraines, heart palpitations, anxiety attacks, all kinds of things. So you may feel like I'm being dramatic here, but I just am asking you to look at this, because this is much in your control. So ask yourself, what am I letting into my consciousness every day? What kind of news am I taking in? How do I use social media? What do I focus on in conversation around the water cooler, so to speak, at work? Do I look at life through a critical eye, or do I allow criticism and judgment to be a part of my environment, or do I not? What am I noticing, and what do I believe about the world? Is the world a bad place? Are people terrible? Is it all going to heck? Is our society just plummeting? What's going on? There's so much of this out there, and if you are feeling that and that is your primary focus, then I really want to challenge you to create a new season in your life so you can feel better and sleep better and be more calm in your life. Because when you're rested and feeling healthy physically and feeling calm emotionally and mentally, you'll enjoy your relationships better. You'll enjoy your work more. You will handle work challenges and personal challenges in a different way. And so there's a really good case for starting to really examine all the external stimuli you are taking in and working on reducing it or changing it to another kind of energy, another kind of vibe. And so, just when you think the world may be, a lost case, or whatever, I want to share some of the great things happening in the world. So, a wonderful news source that you can go to get good news is literally called goodnewsnetwork.org. And I'm going to read you just some recent headlines. A New York City taxi driver gets $75,000 helping hand after a Knicks fan destroyed his car. This the Sumatran, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, tiger cubs born in the UK is a huge win with only 400 left in the wild. Here's another headline. Just by mowing a lawn, a social media star raises $685,000 for a bereaved senior who fell behind on rent. Let's see. There's stunning video of the Southern Lights dancing across the earth captured by a NASA astronaut. Let's see. Oh, and this one. Japanese fans cleaned the stadium after the World Cup match while the players cleaned the locker rooms. Okay, so those are just some of the headlines of what's going on right now in the world that is all what we would call good news, happy stories, feel good things going on, which is a really lovely energy to be taking in, right? Okay, another thing I want you to know that's going on, just in case you don't know. Have you heard about the Character Counts curriculum created by Drake University in Iowa? This is going into schools through the Kindness 101 program in schools all over the place. So it's teaching children about kindness, the importance of being kind and respectful and helping each other out. And this is getting national attention. There was even a CBS News report on this. And this, to me, this is one of the most exciting things of all, because it's starting people out very young, focusing on serving others, on being gentler, kinder people in the world, on being more self-aware of our own behavior as well as how we treat other people. And so it's a wonderful program going on that's growing and growing. And even one school in Red Wing, Minnesota, there's a kindness club that was created by a classroom teacher. And these children in the kindness club give up one recess a week and then focus on projects to help out others. Okay, so I'm telling you, this is fantastic news. Can you imagine this? Do you take out 1 hour of your week of work or all your responsibilities in your personal life to focus on how can I be kind to others? How can I help others out? I mean, if we all did this oh my goodness, how the world would continue to shift in an even more positive way. Another, I just met Ron Smith yesterday, the other day, and he has an organization called the Bridge to Kindness. So go to thebridgetokindness.com and check out what's going on there with his organization. They are connecting people with needs to solve problems. So if there's a problem to solve, like maybe a child, it doesn't have an actual bed in their home, they maybe a child sleeping on an air mattress, then the to kindness hears about this story, then connects them to perhaps a furniture store who's willing to donate a bed to this child, something like that. So this is these projects like this, and they come in all shapes and sizes, kinds, and all over the place, are happening. And that's thebridgetokindness.com. So go check it out. There's thousands of people involved in many states across the United States. So much good news there. And then I also have recently gotten involved with kindness circles with Jill Lublin. You may remember my last podcast episode, I talked about her book, The Profit of Kindness. Well, turns out this author, speaker, publicity expert also runs a monthly meeting called the Kindness Circles, or Circle. Anyway, it's really a networking experience. So if you're in business and you want to meet together with other professionals who want to take time out once a month for 1 hour to network on Zoom and have an hour, it was an hour filled. I attended this the other day for the first time, and it was an hour filled with inspiration, with good good feeling stories of things going on in the world, and then professionals networking with other professionals, collaborating to create a a better place for others in the world, in whatever service or business we are in. And so that's called kindness circles. And so if you want, it's free to be a part of this. You can get involved, you can join this to get or give this opportunity to somebody else at jilllublin.com/kindness circles. Now, I'll put all of these links in the show notes. So you have all of these things to tap into, whether it's news, you want to get good news instead of all this negative news. If you want to hear about the Bridge to Kindness and all the volunteering that's going on there and the wonderful things happening, or the projects in the schools, or this business focus thing, all of these things are opportunities for us to take in the goodness going on in the world, the real story of humanity, which is one of kindness, joy, service, love, laughter, and heroic acts by just being good to your neighbor. So, and you can do this. You can do this. Kindness is contagious. There's neuroscience that teaches us that kindness literally triggers our chemicals in our body, our feel good chemicals, our dopamine, our serotonin, all these things. And also that when we witness or hear about kindness, it's contagious. We're more likely to pass on a kindness ourselves. And so imagine if you began to focus on some of these opportunities in your workplace, in any community organizations you're involved with, in your home as a family, in your own personal life. I'm telling you, your vibe is going to raise and your mental health will ease. You will have more calm in your life, less fear, less worry, less anxiety, less stress. You will feel less overwhelmed at home, at work, in your life. So, I guess as a final point, I would like to say to remember, I tell my clients this all the time, that no matter how stressful your life is, remember every day to do something that brings you joy. And I sincerely mean this. And if you're like, I don't even know what brings me joy, I'm so stressed out, I want you to take some time to just sit down, write a list, things you love to do, whether they're and these are like daily joys, not like, oh, I love to go on cruise ships, in the Mediterranean Sea. Well, that's great. Please schedule your next trip if you can. But I want you to think about dialing it down to just your daily life. What's something you love to do? Maybe you get great joy out of making yourself a lovely cup of tea in the morning and sitting on your front porch and having that cup of tea. Maybe you like to crochet. Maybe you love to play a round of golf. Maybe you have, your favorite chair you like to sit and read your paper or a book or something in. Whatever it is. For me, some of the things are on my joy list were petting my kitten when she was still alive, but having time with my kitten, putting jigsaw puzzles together, taking a long hot bubble bath, having a cup of tea, calling up a friend and having a great conversation, watching a funny movie on Netflix or really, really interesting documentary. I love those. I kind of nerd out on those sometimes. Reading a book that inspires me, listening to music that fills my soul, things like taking a walk out around our property, just communing with nature. Those are some of mine. So think about your list. What are things that bring you daily joy? And make sure you're doing at least one of them a day, if not half a dozen, if you can work it in. So, in other words, I want you to take control of your stress and overwhelm by choosing external experiences and stimuli that feel good, that raise your energy levels, that raise your vibe to feel really, really good. And this, my friends, is kind to you and it's kind to everyone around you because trust me, the better you feel, the more fun you're going to be to live with, play with, and work with. And that helps everybody. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe to our show and share this episode with anyone who can benefit. If you'd like to learn more about how the kindness principles can change your life, please DM me on LinkedIn. And thanks again for listening.